Here we have a new 2023 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid. This one comes in the limited trim level in the beautiful Serenity white, and then we have gray leather interior. And our powertrain consists of a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder mated with an electric powertrain and a 6-speed automatic transmission. Coming around the front end here, we do have LED headlamps along with LED daytime running lights. They don't flash, that's just how my camera's picking it up. But really love the styling of the Sonata Limited. How we have that mirror finish there on the bumper. No clear plastic in my face, so I really like that. 17-inch aluminum wheels. Of course, they're meant to be more aerodynamic with this hybrid. We get passive keyless entry on the front doors. And then we have our memory seat functions here, Bose sound system. We get power windows, automatic for the front, and then just normal power windows for the back. And then rear window lock there. Power door lock controls there. Power mirror controls there, left side, right side, and then turn them off. Love how I can just grab the whole door there, and it's really easy to open and shut it. And then we have a bottle holder here, mat pocket. And then over here we have the brightness control. That's for our gauge cluster, for our AC controls. 12-volt battery reset, lane departure, we can cut that on and off. That's to pop the trunk, traction control, and then the electronic parking brake. Pull up to engage, press down and disengage while your foot's on the brake. And there's our power driver seat with power lumbar support. And just love the look of the seats. And we'll get to those later. But here's the window sticker here. Pretty good crash test rating. Lots of standard features on this Hybrid Limited. And the sticker's right at 38,390. And look at these fuel economy numbers. 45 city, 51 highway. Very impressive. So I do love that we get the rear window blinds for the back. There's a door panel there. Let's go ahead and check out this leg room. Now I'm 6'3". I have the seat in front of me adjusted for someone of my size. Not bad leg room, especially with how I sit. I have just enough space for my leg to just sit on the door panel there. But definitely can't fit my knees behind the seat with this hard plastic right here. Rear AC vents there, USB charge port down there. Middle seat folds down, cup holders here. And I do love that we have the grab handle here and a hook for our hangers if we need to hang our shirts up. And then premium dome lights in the back. And I love how they put those there because with a panoramic sunroof, you don't have a place to put the light in the middle. Let's go ahead and make our way to the back. Here's the gas cap there. Like that we don't have to hit it from the front. But this Serenity white, I can't say enough about how beautiful this color is. And even with the hybrid, still get tons of trunk space. So very impressed there. And this one has the mats all still covered up. And then if you want to lift this up, you have your tire mobility kit, and then you can even use that as a hideaway storage if you want to. Let's go ahead and close the trunk. Well, before I do that, I'm gonna pull this to show you how the rear seat folds down. But there's the back end there. The LEDs don't flash like that. It's just the camera picking it up again. And the exhaust comes out right there when the engine cuts on. And it's funny, as soon as I put the camera on it, it came on. But to the rear seat here, that folds down flat, and then you have a little opening there to run longer objects, even all the way to the front if you need to. And then to put it back into place, really easy. Just lock it back in there. And we do have a storage pocket on the right side in the back. And then up here, front passenger seat, I like that we kept that power seat control there. Lockable glove compartment here. Owner's manual's there. Let's go ahead and just take a look in the engine bay. See what we could see. And there's going to be that 2-liter SmartStream hybrid powertrain there. And I'm very interested to see how this thing drives. But let's go ahead and hop in the front seat here. So leather wrap steering wheel here. Really nice feel, like that. We can heat that as well. I'll show you the button here in a moment. Now over here, I believe this is a 10.25-inch screen. Navigation's up. And then really like that we can pull up our hybrid thing here and we can kind of see our energy flow, and it really helps you drive more efficiently. And then we do get AM, FM, XM radio. Hopefully that didn't blast on me. Okay. And then we also have Bluetooth audio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility. And it's just crazy how many LEDs here. Like, all this is LED, that's why it's all flashing. Even the gauge cluster over there is flashing. None of it is actually doing that with the naked eye, just with the camera lens. And we have Blue Link as well. And this is just really calming. I like leaving this up, that home page. And then we can set up our favorites. And then this is going to be your volume knob here. We could power the audio off there, and then tracks and seek. So what would be a tune knob, you use these buttons here. And then we can go to our settings and get our device connections up, set up our voice recognition, all of that, and even mess with the display if you want to. Hazards here. And then here we have our HVAC vents for the front. Now down here, I really like how they did this. So if I want to just set up the driver fan only, I can just hit that button there, and really easy to cut off. And it doesn't just give you a sync, it actually just blows the vents for the driver. So really like that. And you can undo your sync there if you want to. And then just, standard AC controls. You get 3-stage auto mode for the fan speed, and you can set it. You'll see it goes from low to high to medium, and then everything else makes sense off there. But I really just like how easy it is to get everything going once you turn everything off. But you also get 3-stage heated cooled seats, which is awesome for the driver, front passenger. And even on stage 1 here, the cooled seat is incredible. So really like how they did that. Now we get a 12 volt there, a USB port for that Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, and then you have an additional USB port for just charging. And then if you need a third phone to charge or whatever, you have a wireless charging pad here. And then to shift that 6-speed, you have park, reverse, neutral, drive, all push button. And then you can set your parking sensors here, toggle your camera here. And then while we're there, there's our backup camera with guidelines that follow you as you turn the steering wheel. And this is definitely a high definition camera compared to some other Hyundais I've driven. Really like that picture, very crisp. And then you also get that 360 view as well. And then you can set your drive modes here. You have a smart, eco, sport, and a custom. And then you have your automatic brake hold here. And then you put this on right before you get out the car, and then you can remote back in or pull into a tight spot if you need to. So I like that. Cup holders here, pretty good center console cubby space in here. And then we have a power sunshade with a power panoramic roof. So very nice. Now I love how quick it is to open and shut. I'm not sitting here all day trying to wait on my sunroof. There's a view of the back seat. And then back to the steering wheel here, we can use this mode button to go through our audio, whether it's AM, FM, XM, whatever we want to turn on. Control volume here, mute here, voice recognition, Bluetooth controls, and then we can use this to go through our radio station favorites or track list depending on what mode we're in. And then over here we have smart cruise controls, so of course we can set, resume, all of that. Set the gap for that, turn the lane centering on, and then we can use this button as well as this arrow and this OK button to go through the gauge cluster here. And then the main page here, like the top in that middle, I love how that shows you like idle mode, if the engine's running, how much of the battery is being used, so you can really watch your driving there. And then you have your fuel economy there. Just really love how this is set up. And then I like that it's all digital as well. And then we even get a heads-up display here It's kind of hard to see with the camera because that's LED as well, so it's flashing. But I also like we have the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. I'm going to test those out. Blinkers here, headlight controls here, and then we can put our auto mode on when in auto for the high beams, and then we can turn the headlights all the way on and then turn the high beams on there and then flash them there. And then to the right side of the steering wheel, this stock windshield wipers. One time we have an auto mode here, low, high, and then we can set the auto how aggressive we want it right here. And then of course we can pull here to get the windshield wiper fluid on. And then push button start here. And finally, I hope that's not been blowing on my mic the whole time, but here's the key fob with remote start. And like I said, you can automatically, I should say semi-automatically park the vehicle with the key fob as well. But now let's go ahead and take this 2023 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid Limited out on the road for a quick test drive. So I will say, I really like just the overall sound that I'm getting from this 4-cylinder engine. Even though it's not turbocharged or anything, it just doesn't sound raspy, so far at least. And I do like that on this Limited we do get the curbside view depending on what blinker's on, and you can kind of see how close you're getting to the curb or if something's in your way. But really just like how it drives in this eco mode. It doesn't seem as restrained as I'm used to having an eco mode on. I'm gonna put in a normal, oh, that's sport. Okay, so it's in sport mode now. And definitely a big difference between that and the eco mode. Now I will say I'm kind of weirded out because usually you can go from eco to a normal mode, but this just has eco and sport. But like I said, the eco mode is really, it feels like a normal drive mode, so you don't really need that normal mode, I suppose. Let's see how this shifts in sport mode. And definitely quick for a hybrid. Now it does get loud, but it definitely doesn't get whiny. It just sounds like a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder wood sound. But off the line with the torque from the electric motors, man, that was wild. Now the shifts, of course, with this being a hybrid, it's not as quick to shift as even the normal 8-speeds in the Sonatas, but also compared to the 8-speed dual clutch I just drove in the Sonata N-Line. But still, really good driving feel just all the way around in terms of just how these paddle shifters work, how it works in the sport mode. And it's nice to have that difference even in a hybrid. And again, I do like that even with this 6-speed, the shifts are not necessarily there. It's a little slow to shift, but it listens to you. A lot of these automatics, specifically in hybrids, things of that nature, they want to just shift when they think you should shift, and if the computer thinks you're making a good decision, it'll allow you to shift, but a lot of the times it'll just be like, no, you can't do that right now. So I really like that it listens to me. And then like now I try to shift it into 6 and I'm only doing about, what, 25, 30 miles an hour. It wouldn't let me there. But I'm gonna put it in automatic mode now. And you just hold the right paddle to do that. And still in sport, so let's give it a little throttle here. I will say I love that when I put my foot down, it actually, I could feel the torque from the electric motors instead of it just trying to shift and rev the actual engine hot. So that was really impressive. Let's adjust the gap there. Yeah, as I went ahead and accelerated, it just, I could feel that torque. It felt kind of like an EV. And the engine was just doing the same thing that it had been doing. It didn't go into higher RPMs or anything like that. So really impressed. And of course, As I've said this about the Hyundai and Kia drive systems, really like that the lane centering is very unintrusive, but it pretty much works everywhere. It almost works a little too good in my opinion, until it doesn't. That's the only thing. It's not like a Blue Cruise or a Super Cruise or Tesla Autopilot. It just kind of stays in the lines whenever it thinks it's there. So you just got to pay attention when you're using it, but still a very, very good system. But where this car really shines is going to be the off-the-line acceleration, because you do get that torque, that low-end torque from the electric powertrain. So being able to use that pretty frequently is nice. And just overall, a really good driving car. The ride quality is great. And I really like that the steering feels like a normal Sonata. I'm not getting that numb feel that you get in a lot of hybrid cars. It's just driving very normally. Now, all in all, for the money, of course, you could get an Accord Hybrid, I think. They still make the Accord Hybrid. I don't even know who else comes out with the hybrids now, because everyone's trying to go to EVs. But they're discontinuing the Malibu. They have the Malibu Hybrid. There's a Fusion Hybrid. I mean, now I think you get the Escape Hybrid, maybe. And of course, you can get a Honda CR-V Hybrid. I know that. But this is one of the few cars that are left that you can get that hybrid powertrain in, and you're still getting 50 miles per gallon. So I really like that it's still available for people like myself who still would rather have a car as opposed to an SUV. And for $40,000, really impressed with just all the technology you get. The powertrain itself is really good. The drive modes, very different as you toggle through those. So definitely one of my top choices if you're looking for a four-door hybrid. And this will bring me to the end of my review of the new 2023 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid Limited.